Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of FsPassengers with me, Herd37. So our last flight, we ended up here in Santiago, MDST, and in this episode we have a short flight. Actually, we're going to have a bunch of short flights probably coming up, at least shorter. This one's going to go from Santiago, MDST, over to Santo Domingo, MDSD. As you can see from the weather here, it's kind of a northwestern wind, so we're going to take off on runway, I believe that's runway 29. It's got a heading of 294 degrees. And down here, the wind's been shifting a little bit. See, we're not going to be able to use the ILS down here because the wind is coming from the northeast. So we're going to land on runway 35 with a heading of 351 degrees. And I believe the airport elevation is something like 56 feet or so. As you can see, it's right on the ocean. So pretty much sea level, just a little above it. And with that, let's go ahead and jump on over into the plane. Alright everybody, here we are at the plane. It's just been raining. The dark clouds. It showed an FS Commander, black clouds. I can't remember, I know it was showing it earlier, because then I checked out the airport elevation just to make sure it was correct. And it was all clear and pretty and everything. There's like a weird texture right there or something. But yeah, now it's been raining. It doesn't look bad though. Some clouds, not too bad. It should be a good day of flying, hopefully. One other plane over there with us. Let's jump in this thing, go up to FsPassengers, and we'll start our flight. Alright, we got our 4 people. It's a really short flight, so we don't need much fuel. I'll just put it at like 40. We should still be able to fill this thing full of cargo, I hope. Yeah, 500, still only 83%, so it should be really good. So let's set the type to a normal flight and set our destination. Santo Domingo is MDSD. Okay,
destination.
Load her up immediately. Make sure we got our people.
Flight control. Check handset.
There we go. Have them put their belts on. Alright, let me grab the procedures here. And we'll come down here. Alright, so the landing gear control lever. Actually, let's move that first. You can see it's down. Avionics master switch goes to start. So the ignition switch goes to auto or off. So we'll just go ahead and put it in auto, not off. Starter switch is off. Source selector, battery or GPU. Let's go ahead and put that in GPU. Authorization for starting we don't need. Passenger oxygen, all that. We don't need any of that. Alright, so the fuel quantity, I always forget to look at the quantity in FsPassengers. But that sounds about right. I think it's got 60 in each tank. So we'll go with that. Tank selector, left or right. Put it in right. And then we need to go up to the fuel selector switch and put that in auto. There's a manual right there, so we'll put that in auto. External lights panel. Strobe, we're not going to mess with that. However, I will go ahead and turn on the nav and the pulse. I still don't know what the pulse is. I don't know if that's like our beacon or what. So we'll put that on. So we've got those on. Don't have to worry about it being a night flight or anything. So, electric power panel, source selector. Actually, wants us to put it in power, or battery. I thought we could do it with GPU though, I'm not really sure. Although it's using airplane power, that's why. I don't know if I have the other sheet for the GPU or what. We'll put that in battery. Let's check the voltage. Should be around 24.5 it says. We're at 27.7. Engine controls, manual override is off. It's in the notched position. Power lever is in idle. Propeller governor lever, max RPM. Condition lever is in cutoff. Alright, the flaps are up. You can see on the far right. The fuel panel, auxiliary boost pump switch needs to come on. So we'll turn that on. Wait a second. That is that right? I always get what that... I'm not sure what that is. I have no idea what that is. You can push it. Propeller area is clear. So we'll go ahead and put the ignition in auto. It's already in auto. We'll hit the starter switch. And it should be around... Let me come down here. At around 13%. I don't think we can see that very clearly. Before we turn it on, but if I remember correctly, we always have a problem. It doesn't... We need to let it go up a little bit higher. Hit that starter. 10. Yeah, it peters out. There's 11. It's like 11.8, so I'm going to go ahead and give it some fuel. We'll just watch everything. Alright, everything there looks good. Check the oil pressure. We got it right there in the green, so that's fine. And the warning message about the oil is off. So, actually, before I continue, it never says to turn the starter off, so I'll go ahead and turn it off myself. Just skip through these pages. Probably just take those ones out. Alright, so the condition lever goes to high idle. Instruments. NG should be about 69 plus or minus 2. It's right there at 70, so we're good. ITT in the green, it is. That's the lower one. Alright, so auxiliary boost pump switch goes to auto. So move that one up. And let's go ahead and put the generator on main. And let's see, the warning about the boost pump message goes off. It is off. And the warning about the generator is off. The main generator. Ammeter, everything needs to be around 28. And as you can see, it is. Although it gives us, well, that gives us the amps, but the voltages on both look good. It is talking about volts, not amps, so that's good. Alright, so that's it with these procedures. I want to go look at one thing, because I was watching videos about, if you watch, I think it's Stevo Knievo, something like that. He actually flies a TBM, and he was actually talking about how to do this on one of his videos, although this is a little bit different than his setup. He was talking about the inner numbers here are your altitude, so you want to go 1,000 or above, and on the outer is actually your landing altitude. You'll do 1,000 feet above that. So let's say we're going to go to 10,000. I guess that's 15,000 right there, so if we want to go to 10, would that not be that around there? So we'd want to be around 11. I could say put it right there, because it goes 15. Maybe I guess you don't really have to mess with it until you get up around 15. But we'll put it right there. Let's go ahead and put the bleeds in the auto. And I don't know if it tells you in the procedures to go ahead and put the pitot heat on, because I know we have our pitot heat off. You can see the warning over there in the panel. I'll leave it off just for now, just in case they tell us to. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the parking brake for a second and have them... Well, no, I won't. I was going to say I'm going to have them push us back, but we can go forward, so we have enough room. So before we get taxiing, let's go ahead and turn our taxi light on. Inert SEP needs to go on. I thought I had a thing to that. Inert SEP, you come on. Passenger briefing, fine, parking brake, all that. See, it actually doesn't tell you anything about the... turn on the avionics and stuff, at least not yet. Alright, so we're not going to use the tower, obviously. Reset my altimeter there. Let me go ahead and put our avionics on. I'll leave that off. Alright, we can go ahead and start taxiing here. Over to the runway, runway 29. I should probably check and see. I'm going to say check and see that I can hear somebody over to our left. I'm not sure if that's set plane or not. I thought I heard someone maybe coming in and landing or something. Because I'm not sure about the taxiways here. That's JetBlue. That's who that is. Didn't recognize the livery, but I can see it written there. We'll have to stop here. American Airlines. I don't want to get in their way. They're bigger than us. That would be a problem. We can enter the runway right here because there's going to be plenty of room down that way. Although it does seem like this plane doesn't get up as quick as it should, but you never know. Maybe that's just me. Alright. Get to taxi here. Although you don't really want to be that close, obviously, because of the jet blast and everything. So let's taxi right on over here. Like I said, that's where we'll enter the runway. It's been a long time since I've done any FsPassengers and flown this plane. Hopefully it comes right back to me like riding a bike or something. Because like I say, it's been a while. I kind of do it in spurts sometimes, and gotten addicted to air hauler 2 again, and been doing a lot of that. There's some flying Alaska and stuff like that. Alright, we'll go ahead and stop right over here. I'll throw on the parking brake. Grab these procedures once again. So the parking brake is set, condition lever is in high idle. NG should be around 69% plus or minus 2%. It's right there at 70 again. Flaps, we're going to set to takeoff. Guess I could just grab them here, it might be easier. No. I guess it wants this way. I clicked it once and it goes up. So apparently you can't do it that way. You have to click them again. That's kind of weird that I can't bring it down. There they go to take off. That's kind of odd. Alright, propeller governor. Gotta feather it twice. Then max RPM. We're not gonna worry about the de-icing. We're not even gonna go all that far, by the way. If runway is in good condition without icing conditions, we can go ahead and turn that off. It's not gonna be icing condition, although it is wet. So I thought you also use it in wet, but apparently not. Inert SEP is off. The warning is off. Windshield switch. You know, it's one of the things I've talked about before in this plane. I don't know if we should use that stuff or not. I will turn on the pitot heat and the stall heat. I'm not going to turn on anything with the window or anything because I don't think we need to. But yeah, windshield or pitot and stall heat are both on now. Flight controls. Deflections. Checked. I guess you could. Look out here. Alright. Rudder pedals. Everything looks good. Next page. I'm going to do also that TBM check. That propo speed check here instead of doing it on the runway. So I'm not going to turn on the strobe just yet. Fuel with the quantity should still be good, obviously. Symmetry should be just fine. Actually, it says like 69 and 60 now. It's kind of odd. I thought they were both at 60. Alright, fuel selector switch. We need to check to make sure it's an auto again. It is. Boost pump switch is an auto. Flight instruments are all checked. I was going to say we could go up to 10.5. It's such a short flight, I don't know if we need to. Although, I mean, get up quite high, easily. So the altitude select is done. Battery charge less than 50 amps. It is, like I was just talking about, it's real low. So everything looks good. Now it's time for the Propos speed test. We need to move out a little bit because we need to look up at our screen. Alright, we go up to about 1900. It's probably too much right there. Oh, it was right there. I hate how it goes up and down like that. It seems like if I get it right at 1900, even if it's a little low, we should probably take it. I'm just gonna say that's good because I don't want it flying by. All right. It should decrease by 50 to 250. As you can see, it did. I'm gonna go ahead and release that, and it should increase by at least 50, which it did. That was extremely close there, though. So I'm gonna bring that back off. Now, everything is off of here, as you can see. All of our warnings except parking brake, obviously, because the parking brake is on. So I'm going to go ahead and turn our strobes on and our landing lights. And we can go ahead and get the heck on out of here. Everything is clear to the left and right. Parking brake is off. Let's go flying. Finally, there's tons of checks. Bring that to 294, we're heading. Get onto the runway and get on out of here. Kind of forgot how she taxis kind of slow at first to get her going. Back off the power just a little bit because FsPassengers likes to ding you. Alright, let's go ahead and get on up and out of here. We'll go ahead and rotate. It's positive rate. Gears coming up. So remember, there's some pretty good scenery here. It's like those red clay tile houses and everything. I love that. Increase my power a little bit. Go ahead and retract the flaps. Gets rid of some of that drag. That looks really pretty. Let's go ahead and start turning to the left. Reset my views. I hate having my views all diagonal and stuff to where I'm trying to look. Turn on autopilot here in just a minute. But I like to do a little bit of flying and then like to look at the scenery. We'll probably be out of the scenery. That's the thing that sucks. By the time we're ready for the autopilot. Desired track is 149. Couldn't find that forever. Trying to fly this with my left hand. Oh, and it went flying by on the heading. There we go, 149. Airspeed and everything looks good. Straighten her out a little bit here. There's the airport. Gonna get into the clouds a little bit here. By the way, this area actually uses OpenLC North America. It uses, you know, the whole Caribbean and everything is covered by it, which is pretty sweet. Kind of on 4,000 feet. So let's go ahead and we need the yaw damper. We should turn that on already. AP trims, we'll turn that on. Autopilot, we got the flight director. We need to hit CDI a couple times. The GPS mode. Gonna hit nav, now it'll fly that. Got our altitudes already set. Let's go ahead and hit the vertical speed. Climb a little over 1,000 feet a minute. Yeah, 10.5 will be just fine, I think. You know, it says we're like 25 minutes out. We got about 77 miles to go. So we won't be at 10.5 for very long. Actually, climb a little bit higher or quicker to 1,200. Let me check my procedures here. Okay, so the flaps are up and confirmed. We can actually go now to 850. Flaps to 850. It says power lever torque equals 121.4%. Which, I mean, see, I don't know what the yellow thing is. The yellow arc on it's the very top one. So it says power lever should equal 121.4%. I just barely moved it and it went flying up there. Holy hell. Now it comes back down a little bit. So I'm just going to leave it right there. And we're climbing way too fast. If speed-wise it says to climb at 130, but I'm not sure if that's like the initial climb or not. And I remember somebody was telling me about not messing with their RPM, I think. I'm going to have to go back and read that about what exactly you're supposed to do. Because it doesn't actually say anything about that in the procedures. I'm going to go down here to our... this off. You can go ahead and turn all this crap on. They should be good. And we're pretty good. We got about 71 miles to get there. We're almost at our cruising altitude of 10.5. I guess we could turn the taxi light off if we wanted. Although I'm going to have to read exactly what he was saying about the RPM and everything, and also the power lever. I thought also it could have been the power lever. You leave it at that setting until you're ready to descend. And do we really need it? Because we don't really need it to be 117.7. I'm not quite sure. But with that, I'm going to go ahead and speed her up for just a second. We're really close to needing to descend. So I'll be right back. Alright, everybody, slowing her down here. Mac, I've got we're encountering one problem. So just going straight to Santo Domingo. If you saw in Flight Simulator, I actually had certain waypoints in, and I had that in the flight planner as well through FSX. In fact, I had to change the actual ones to the ones FSX would use. I loaded up the wrong plane, and I reselect this plane. Apparently, that has clicked out. Damn it, it's like it's freaking clicked out the waypoint. So I'm gonna pause it for 1 second and see if I can't get that back. Alright, so I actually just decided against that because I don't want to get to a black screen. So what because we're doing the visual approach, checked on the charts. Alright, so go down to 2500 fuel imbalance, so it's not doing its job. Anyway, you gotta select it over to your fullest tank anyway on your descent. Alright, so the flaps, let me check. We're gonna do the landing lights here in just a second. Oh, holler at me.
Descending below 10,000 feet, Captain.
Landing lights, I'll turn the taxi light on as well. Altitude is selected down to 2500, that's what we want. Cabin pressure control panel. Need to set that to about 1,000 feet. Which I guess it is. The outside is 1,000. So how could that be 15,000 on the inside? 1,000 above, so that's 1104. So that is correct, I guess. It's kind of weird. Ours does look a little bit different anyway. So the fuel, we've checked the gauges. We're on the fullest tank now. Astro briefing and all that we don't need to do. Pull down on the power here. Altimeter, we'll go ahead and check that, reset it. See, it says actually turn on the inert SEP under 200 knots, which we're already under 200 knots. So I guess technically we should F it on. That doesn't seem totally right to me. Yeah, I'm going to move our heading out to the left because you actually come out over here and come around, so that's the way we're going to follow it. So I'm going to switch this over to heading. And I'm going to switch this over to vertical speed and descend a little bit quicker. So the prop lever is at maximum RPM. See, that makes me think that this thing thinks it's okay to move it below. We'll check on that. And see, it says landing gear, I guess indicated airspeed below 170. Maybe that just means that when you're under 178 you can lower it. You don't just lower it at 178. Flaps indicate airspeed at 178. You can take those out to take off. And flaps under 122 for landing flaps. Alright, and we'll land, our landing speed will be around 80 to 85. That'll be it for these procedures. Yeah, that sucks. I didn't realize if I switched the plane, it would kick out what was already in there for the flight planner. I know it now. That kind of sucks though, because I had the points in perfectly to come out and around. For the visual approach for runway 35. Which will have a heading of 351. Probably need to come out to the left a little bit more. The scenery looks really nice, as you'd expect, I guess, with OpenLC. Wow, that looks like a... Is that the city? I guess that, yeah, that's got to be the city. Kind of want to go over there and just take a look at her without going outside, because she'll get real loud if we go outside. Bring on the power a little bit more. Oh, that's really impressive. Man, that's a huge ass city too. Santo Domingo. come out to the left a little bit more. I'm trying to remember exactly what the waypoints even were. See, this is kind of desolate out here. There's a little bit out here, but man, there's a massive city over there. Very cool. Yeah, we won't have to come out too far, but with the wind, there's an ILS coming straight in, which I would have loved to have used. You all saw the weather. It's coming from the north-northeast. So we gotta go around. No biggie. Wrong button. Ah, heck. What have I done? Well, I don't know why they're scared. Maybe it's because the pilot said I don't know what I've done. DME tuning, I don't know how the hell to get out of that all of a sudden. There we go. I wanted to just move my course to 351. Just we're not using the GPS anymore. Go 351. I'm not sure why they're worried. The weather isn't that bad. Oh hell, we've gotten into the rain. That's why. Well, inert SEP is on, which is good. I guess it's good for both wind and ice. Although I believe its main function is like keep ice from getting into the engine, if I remember correctly. It's like a different inlet or something to protect the engine. So we won't get 100% again, and it has nothing to do with us. Not our fault. By the way, I think our next flights will probably go Cancun, I'm thinking. And there's a couple other that I want to go, like San Juan, Puerto Rico. I can't remember if there's another one in the Dominican Republic or not, besides Punta Cana. I have to look again at that map. It may just be Punta Cana and then San Juan, Puerto Rico. I'm going to reset my altimeter. Yeah, man, that's crappy weather. I don't know why my passengers always have to be worried. I'm a professional pilot, you know what I'm saying? Professional sim pilot. We've crossed 3,900 feet. There's the airport. That shows us a lot further away than, like, the freaking edge. You know, we could probably start turning and not even go out all that far since we're doing a visual approach. I would have liked to have gotten down a little bit more if we're going to do that. More of those red clay tile roofs. I love that. I'm gonna let ourselves get a little further out from that. The turn will be tight if we don't. Get out just so I should have let us get out a little bit further to the left actually. Coming up on 2,500, we could probably let ourselves get down to like 2,000. and not go out too far. Alright, let's go parallel with the runway now. 171. I think we'll be out far enough. It'll still be kind of a tight turn, actually. But we shall be alright. Yeah, it's still got the rain. I don't remember seeing rain down here in Santo Domingo. I was in Santiago for sure. Black clouds. See, this approach should come out around here. I'm not sure exactly how far because I can't see the waypoints there. Alright, so we're leveled out, so I'm going to increase the power. Let's check our fuel tanks. Alright, we still need to be on the right one, which we are. It's the fullest. Surprised it's... Our airspeed still isn't doing that well. It's actually dropping a little bit. That's weird. Even with all that extra power, although you can see it, like the torque is still pretty low. I mean, I actually moved the throttle a lot. Probably go ahead and do it. Now it's actually increasing a lot. I don't want to go too much. Approach speed is 85. Let's go 261. It'll be a tight turn though. Actually, it says we're still a little high here. Go on down to 1800. Let's go ahead and turn towards this. Actually kind of hard to see. Not sure if that will be too soon or not. We'll get both those up actually. See, I think we may have turned a little too soon. Hard to tell. Actually, it looks like we're pretty much right on it. We're at 351. Autopilot coming off. Actually, I guess I need those down. Autopilot trims that yaw damper off. We're a little bit closer than I thought. Gear coming down, flaps going out to takeoff. Just got to make sure and not get down, or not let our speed get down too much. So we don't want to be low. That's always our problem. Getting too low. Alright, we're getting back on the glide slope here. Shit, that's why. I never got out of that. Ah, we were supposed to do that on now we're at full flaps. On descent, we were supposed to be out of that. I didn't hear the flaps coming out. Now we got the flaps out and it totally ballooned us badly. Man, I don't like those trees being there. Watch the speed.
600.
Speed's dropping more than I would like. And we're just above the treetops, so I can't... We're gonna have to give her some more power. I'm surprised it says we're high. I mean, we're right above the freaking trees. You can't be much higher. You can't be any lower, I mean. So I'm not sure what that's all about. Alright, we're off the power. Trying to get left. Guess we're not scared anymore. Now we're on the ground. I was trying to make that taxiway. We're not going to. And come on, girl. I can't get you left. Alright, it was a decent landing. It wasn't my best or anything. It was kind of odd because those trees and everything. My God, why is she all over the runway? I don't quite understand. I couldn't get her to go left. Now she's way too left, but then I let it go and she goes way to the right. Can't even taxi along the runway line. I'm gonna go ahead and retract the flaps. Oh, instead I tap the brake and it goes straight left on me without even turning. Acts a little awkward. Alright. Good God. Plane, you're all over the place. Hard to handle. Alright, let's stop right here. I'm going to throw on the parking brake real quick. Landing lights and strobe can come off. Let's get our procedures out here. The after landing checklist. The de-icing is all off. Inert SEP is on. Windshield, we're not going to worry about that. Pitot heat and stall heat can come off. Where's my... There we go. That takes them both off right there. Bleed switch as required. It's on auto, so we'll just leave it. Flaps are up. You can see that. Strobes are off. Landing lights are off. The taxi light is on. Oxygen switch, we don't worry about that. Alright, so we can go over to a parking area. I'm wondering if we shouldn't just have them tell us where to go. See if they got a parking area for us.
Las Americas ground. Whiskey
Las
Lima
Americas.
167. Request taxi to parking. Whiskey Lima 167. Taxi to general aviation parking. Via taxiway Echo Warp.
Acknowledge that.
Taxi to general aviation
Turn on progressive taxi. I hope it's just right over here. Parking brake is off. Alright, head on over here. Looks like we got like Delta and JetBlue over there. I believe that's gotta be JetBlue because that's what we saw last time. I'm pretty sure that tail looks like Delta to me. Hopefully it's not too far out to the left. See if I can get on the taxi line and stay there. I don't know why it's been so difficult today. Alright, slow down here. American, huh? I don't know where American is. I don't see any American over there.
Departure frequency is 119.3, squawk 0102. American 13908 cleared to Miami Airport.
Yeah, definitely didn't see any American planes over there.
Departure on 119.3, squawk 01.
Yeah, it really takes some power to get this thing moving. Keep it moving.
Contact ground on 121.9.
But then after she does get moving, she will move quite quick. Should have checked and see if any of these went to a parking space as well. I don't know why. Yeah, there's closer ones. I don't know why FSX always makes you take the furthest one. It's like when you're a kid and you're out with someone with your dad and he like parks the furthest away. You don't know what the hell's going on.
Las Americas round. American 1398 West Flight. Ready to taxi. IFR.
American 1398 taxi.
Oh, just having trouble stopping. Alright, parking brake is coming on. Yeah, there's an American right over there. Alright, so let's check our stuff here. Parking brake is set. Condition lever is in high idle. Power lever needs to be there for about a minute, so we'll just leave it for a second. Taxi light, you can come off. AP trims master switch off. I've already turned it off. I don't know if you... I don't quite know when to turn that off, because I did it when I turned the autopilot off. Avionics master switch goes down to start. So down here at the ECS panel, the bleed comes off. I'm going to turn all this off. Alright, so everything is off down there. Air conditioning is off. Check for cabin depressurization. We'll just let it go down. Alright, propeller governor, feather for 15 seconds. While we're doing that, we'll come out down here. We'll bring that down. Alright, condition lever. We'll go ahead and put that cut off. Inert SEP needs to come off. Avionics master switch comes off. External lights, pulse, and nav come off. Make sure that came off as well. It did. So all those switches are off. All the interior lights, we didn't use any. So the fuel auxiliary boost pump switch goes off. That goes to manual. I'm going to put this to off. Tank selector is off. Generator selector and source selector. We'll just use that to take them both down. Parking brake, as required, we'll just go ahead and turn the parking brake off. I'll actually put it back on, just because we don't have cone or chucks or anything. So let's go ahead and turn this off. Actually, I need to stop that real quick. Alright, now we can end this flight. Alright, flight distance 78 nautical miles. Time airborne 3106. Flight time was 46:44. Time on the ground 22:45. Average speed 152.2 knots. Climb time 7 minutes 31 seconds. Cruise time 11 minutes 51 seconds. Average cruise speed was 242.9 knots. Sit time 11 minutes 44 seconds. Landing speed 74.95 knots. Came down to 130 feet a minute, which was a kiss. Landing pitch 4.29 degrees. Landing weight 6,854 pounds. Total fuel used 148 pounds. Climb fuel used 70. Cruise 56, using about 286 an hour. And 21 pounds of fuel used on the descent. Passenger opinion, exceptional flight, 100%. Are relieved to have landed safely after the extreme weather. It wasn't extreme, it was just some rain. Ticket income, 187. Actually got more from the cargo at 198. Cost us $81 of fuel, 7 for the airport taxes, 16 for the insurance. Total real income, $281. Yes. We're making the big bucks. No, yeah. Yeah, times the 50 gives us 14,050. 27,000 for the rest of the fleet, bringing in a total of 41,000. It's a short flight. What are you gonna do? So the passengers thought we should be at 100%, so we increased 0.15% to 98.52. Perfect flight, 330 bonus points. 50 for the smooth landing, 150 for the satisfied passengers and everything. Right airport 30, and extreme weather gives us another 100. And another one in the books. Americans out there. There they are. That was American came in when we were taking off, too. That's kind of cool. Kind of sucks we got crappy weather. Oh, there's another. Is that JetBlue again? JetBlue must be all over the place. I thought they just now were starting to do flights like that. Or maybe, no, the Southwest is just starting to come down into the islands and stuff, I think. Well, if you were listening, you probably know the next planned flight is Cancun. And then I think the one after that is going to be maybe San Juan, Puerto Rico. I kind of want to go to that. What's that? Port-au-Prince, is that in Haiti? So I don't know what's going to go on. I need to look at the map again. So I don't. But the next one I think is going to be Cancun, but I don't know that for sure. Anyhow, that's going to be it for this flight. I hope you all did enjoy it. I'll catch you guys on the next flight.